First part of this video, I need you to just copy down some vocab. So if you need to pause the video so that you have time to write, that's fine. The first one is 5.5. I can simplify algebraic expressions. That's the objective. And then a term is the first vocab word, and that's anything separated by a plus or a minus. Next we have like terms. Like terms have the same variable to the same power, so the same letter with the same exponent. Constants are numbers without a variable, and coefficients are the numbers in front of a variable. So the first thing we're going to do is just label some expressions. So for the first expression, we have, let's do 5x plus 3 plus 2x plus 1. And we're just going to label each part of this expression. Let's call this example 1. So the terms in this expression are 5x is one of the terms, 3 is another term, 2x is another term, and 1 is another term. And then next we're going to label the like terms. Like terms have the same variable with the same exponent. These are the only two that have variables, and they both have the same letter and they don't have any exponents, so they go together. So 5x and 2x are my like terms. And we'll label the constants. Constants are the numbers without a variable, so I have the 3 and the 1. And then my last one is the coefficients. And the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variable, so I have a 5 right there. That's one of my coefficients, and this 2 right here is another coefficient. Okay, let's do one more of these. So for example 2, let's do 3y minus 4 minus 6y plus 7. So the very first thing that we should always do whenever we see subtraction is you're going to change the sign in the one behind every time. So we'll label the same thing. Label terms. 3y is the term. Now I change this so my term is now a negative 4. I have a negative 6y and a 7. Since I've changed these both to pluses, I have a negative 4 here and a negative 6y there. Next is going to be like terms. So we have only two terms with variables, and they have the same variable to the same power, so 3y and negative 6y are my two like terms. Then we have to do constants. My constant terms are negative 4 and 7. Those are my terms without the variable. And my last one, the coefficients, would be 3 and negative 6. Okay, now that we understand what different parts of the expressions are, we can start to use this information to simplify expressions. So when you're simplifying expressions, you can only combine like terms. I want to write that down here. You can only combine like terms. So if we're going to simplify an expression, so that's what the directions will say. They'll say simplify. Let's say this is example 3. If we're trying to simplify a problem like 6x minus 4 minus 3x plus 1, we can only combine the terms that are alike. So first thing we're going to do is same as we've always done. Anytime we see subtraction, we're going to change the sign in the one behind, always. Now we're going to look for like terms. And when I look for like terms, I like to use different colors or sometimes different shapes to help me identify which terms are like terms. So I know that 6x and negative 3x are like terms because they both have the same variable with the same exponent. So I can add those two. So I can do 6x plus negative 3x. And 6x plus negative 3x is positive 3x. And then I'm going to use boxes for the constant terms. I can also combine constant terms because those are also alike. So I can combine negative 4 with the positive 1, and I'm going to add those. negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Now I can combine these two into one expression. So I'm going to put 3x plus negative 3, and I can simplify that a little bit more to be 3x minus 3. So that's as simplified as this expression can get. All right, let's try another one. Let's do, for example, 4. Let's do 9 p plus 7 minus 11p minus 4. And the very first thing we always have to do is change the sign in the one behind, change the sign in the one behind. Then again, I'm going to look for like terms. These two are like terms, and I know I'm going to add them because I changed everything to be adding. So I have 9p, that didn't show up very well, 9p plus negative 11p. And I'm going to add the coefficients. 9 plus negative 11 is negative 2, so I have negative 2 times p. Let's see if I have any more sets of like terms. The constant terms can go together. Positive 7 and negative 4. I know I'm adding because I changed everything to adding. So it's 7 plus negative 4, which is positive 3. So when I put these together, I have negative 2p plus 3, and I can't simplify it any further. Okay, let's do one more example. Let's do example 5. Let's do 10m plus 9n minus 4m minus 6n. And again, the very first thing I always need to do is change the sign in the one behind, change the sign in the one behind. Then I'm going to look for sets of like terms. The 10m will go with the negative 4m, and the 9n will go with the negative 6n. And I know I'm adding because I changed everything to be adding. So I have 10m plus negative 4m, and then I have 9n plus negative 6n. So I'll add these. 10m plus negative 4m is 6m. 9n plus negative 6n is 3n. So when I simplify and put it together, I get 6m plus 3n.